Before we start, I want to say that only 1% of you are subscribed. Please subscribe because when we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will post a special video for you. Tom glanced around his new quarters, a modest room filled with furniture that seemed to blend alien aesthetics with human functionality. The walls were adorned with holographic vistas of Zanthia's landscapes, shimmering in the low light. As he unpacked, the door slid open with a soft whoosh, revealing his new roommate. Alira, with her tall, slender frame and luminescent skin, entered carrying a tray of what Tom assumed were local snacks. Her eyes, a deep violet, regarded him with an amiable curiosity. "Hello, Tom. I thought you might be hungry after your journey," she said, her voice melodious yet unfamiliar in its cadence. She placed the tray on the small table near the window and extended a hand, which Tom shook, noting the slight webbing between her fingers. "Thanks, Alira. I appreciate it. It's all a bit overwhelming, but I'm excited to be here," Tom replied, smiling as he took a tentative bite of something crunchy and surprisingly spicy. "I can imagine. Zanthia must seem very strange to you. I'll help you get acclimated. What do you think of our local cuisine?" she asked, watching him closely. "It's interesting." Tom coughed a little from the spice. "Definitely going to take some getting used to, but I'm game." Alira laughed, a sound like chimes in a gentle breeze. "You'll grow to love it, I promise. Or at least, you won't choke on it." As they chatted, Tom noticed Alira's interest in his Earth origin items, particularly his books and music player. Seeing an opportunity to bond, he offered to share some classic Earth music with her. "Do you like music? I brought some from Earth. Maybe you'd like to hear it," Tom suggested, hoping to bridge their worlds through shared interests. "I would love that," Alira said, her face lighting up. "We value music greatly here too. It's a universal language, isn't it?" Tom nodded, setting up his portable player. He selected a classical Earth orchestra, letting the soft strings fill the room. Alira closed her eyes, absorbing the melodies. "This is beautiful," she murmured. "It's very soothing. On Zanthia, we have a genre that uses similar string instruments. Maybe I can show you some later." "I'd like that. It's going to be nice learning about each other's cultures," Tom said, feeling the initial awkwardness dissipate. "Exactly. We have a lot to learn from each other," Alira agreed. "And speaking of learning, tomorrow I'll take you to the Central Market. It's a good place to start getting to know Zanthia." "That sounds great. I could use a guide," Tom replied, eager to explore his new home. "And maybe we can find more of this," he added jokingly, pointing at the snack tray. Alira chuckled. "We'll find you some less spicy options. We wouldn't want you to starve." Their conversation continued into the evening, each sharing stories of their homeworlds. As Tom listened to Alira describe Zanthia's oceans and sky gardens, he felt a growing excitement about the days to come. Perhaps this strange new world wouldn't be so alien after all, not with such a friendly face to show him around. The morning light of Zanthia filtered through the transparent ceiling of their shared living quarters, casting a soft glow on everything it touched. Tom and Alira were up early, preparing for their trip to the Central Market. Alira was adjusting her translator device when another knock sounded at the door. "Must be Joran," Alira said, motioning towards the door. "He's coming with us to the market. You'll like him. He's one of my oldest friends." Tom nodded, curious about meeting another Xantharian. The door slid open to reveal a slightly shorter male figure than Alira, with darker, teal skin and a friendly grin. "Hello, Tom. I've heard much about you." "I'm Joran," he said, extending a hand, his grasp firm and warm. "Nice to meet you, Joran." "Thanks for coming along," Tom replied, appreciating the friendly reception. "Of course. Anyone who can handle Alira's cooking is worth meeting," Joran joked, dodging a playful swat from Alira. As they walked towards the market, the streets of Zanthia buzzed with activity. Vendors shouted in a cacophony of languages, selling everything from exotic fruits to handmade artifacts. Joran led them through the bustling lanes, pointing out interesting stalls. "This here is our version of a bakery," Joran said, stopping in front of a stall filled with an array of colorful pastries. "You must try the kivberry muffins. They're a local favorite." Tom sampled one, the sweet and tart flavors exploding in his mouth. "This is incredible." Earth bakeries could learn a thing or two from Zanthia, he remarked. Alira laughed. See, not all our food is out to get you. Their next stop was a music vendor, where various instruments, some resembling guitars and others completely alien, were displayed. Tom was drawn to a stringed instrument with a luminous, flowing shape. This is a silhar. It's played by resonating these strings with your energy field, Joran explained, demonstrating as soft, harmonic tones filled the air around them. Wow, I've never seen anything like that. Do you think I could learn to play it? Tom asked, intrigued by the unique music. Absolutely, Joran assured, handing him the silhar. Just let your emotions flow through it. Music here is about feeling more than technique. Tom tentatively strummed the strings, surprised by the sound that echoed his slight nervousness yet excitement. Alira and Joran clapped as he managed a somewhat melodious sound. You're a natural, Alira complimented, her eyes sparkling with amusement. They continued their tour, visiting stalls that sold technological gadgets and traditional Xantharian clothing. Tom was fitted with a lightweight, shimmering tunic, much to the amusement of his companions. As good as a native, Joran chuckled, snapping a picture on his device. The trio spent the rest of the day exploring, with Joran and Alira sharing stories of their childhood adventures and favorite market memories. Tom felt a sense of camaraderie building between them, a comforting bond forming far from his home planet. As the Zanthia sun began to set, casting long shadows over the market, they decided to head back. The day had been filled with laughter, learning, and an overwhelming amount of new experiences. This was fantastic. Thanks both of you for showing me around, Tom said as they walked back. We're just getting started, Alira replied. There's so much more to see. And tomorrow, we're planning a trip to the coastal gardens. You shouldn't miss that. Count me in, Tom said, feeling genuinely excited about the days ahead. The foreignness of Zanthia was slowly becoming less intimidating, thanks in large part to his new friends. As they walked back, the alien sky above seemed a little more familiar, a little more like a new home. Tom was slowly getting accustomed to his new life on Zanthia, finding comfort in the routines he established with Alira and Joran. One morning, while Tom was finishing up a light breakfast in their shared kitchen, Joran entered, looking unusually excited. Tom, you're coming with me today. There's a local tech expo in the city center, and you can't miss it. Xanthian technology is some of the best in the galaxy, Joran announced, pouring himself a cup of the steaming local beverage. Sounds fascinating, Tom replied, his interest piqued. What kind of tech are we talking about? Everything from everyday gadgets to advanced bioengineering tools. It's a great way to see how our technology could complement Earth's, Joran explained as they gathered their things and left the apartment. The expo was bustling with innovators and tech enthusiasts from all over the planet. Joran led Tom through several pavilions, introducing him to various devices and their creators. At one booth, a demonstration of a device that could translate thoughts into text had Tom thoroughly impressed. This could revolutionize communication back on Earth, Tom noted, watching a demonstration where alien thoughts were rendered into visible text on a screen. Indeed, it's all about finding ways to bridge our worlds, Joran agreed. Imagine the possibilities for diplomacy and education. They spent the next few hours exploring, and Tom collected information and samples to send back to his team on Earth. His enthusiasm was evident, and Joran was more than happy to share his world. As the day progressed, Tom noticed that Alira had been quiet and seemed distracted. Concerned, he approached her during a quiet moment away from the crowds. Alira, are you okay? You've seemed a bit off today, Tom asked gently, touching her arm. Alira smiled weakly, her usual vibrancy dimmed. I'm fine, Tom. It's just that the mating season is approaching, and it affects us deeply. It's a lot to handle sometimes. Tom nodded, recalling his research on Xanthian biology. Is there anything I can do to help? Just being understanding is more than enough. It's a natural process, but it can be overwhelming without support, she replied, her eyes grateful. I'm here for you, just like you've been here for me, Tom assured her, his promise genuine. Joran, who had joined them, clapped a hand on Tom's shoulder. It's good you're here, Tom. It helps to have friends during these times. The three of them spent the rest of the day at the expo but took it a bit slower, allowing Alira to guide them through less crowded areas, focusing on more serene exhibits. They ended the day at a quiet cafe near the expo grounds. Sitting together, enjoying some local delicacies, they discussed their favorite parts of the day. Tom shared his plans to integrate some of the technology into his research, and Joran talked about the potential collaborations between their worlds. It's not just about the technology, Tom said, reflecting on the day. It's about understanding each other and supporting one another. Whether it's sharing tech or helping through a tough time. Exactly, Alira smiled, her spirits lifted. It's about building connections. As they walked home under the twin moons of Zanthia, Tom felt a deeper connection to his friends and the vibrant world around him. The day had started with technology but ended with the affirmation of their growing friendship, a testament to the shared experiences that were bringing them closer. As the days lengthened on Zanthia, Tom found the rhythms and routines of the planet growing on him. One particular afternoon, Joran invited Tom to join him at a local laboratory where they were conducting experiments on interspecies plant growth. "Come on, Tom. You'll find this fascinating. We're trying to cultivate earth plants using Xanthian agricultural techniques," Joran explained as they walked through the vibrant city streets toward the lab. "Sounds like a challenge. Earth's soil compositions are pretty unique. How are you adapting them here?" Tom asked, intrigued by the idea. "We use a bioadaptive gel. It mimics the native soil conditions of the plants. We've had some success with earth flora already," Joran replied, leading Tom into a large, glass-domed building filled with greenery. Inside, Tom was amazed at the sight of various earth plants thriving alongside alien vegetation. The lab was a blend of Earth's greenery and Xanthia's fluorescent flora, creating a surreal but beautiful garden. "This is incredible, Joran. I didn't expect such a successful integration," Tom said, examining a rose bush flourishing next to a luminescent Xanthian fern. "It's all about balance and understanding the needs of different life forms," Joran explained, picking up a tablet to show Tom the environmental settings they were monitoring. As they delved deeper into the technical aspects, a scientist approached them. Dr. Halen, a Xanthian botanist, was eager to discuss their work with Tom. "We've been monitoring the growth responses daily, and the results are promising. Have a look at these growth charts," Dr. Halen said, displaying graphs with vigorous upward trends. Tom, fascinated, discussed potential applications for food cultivation on Earth, particularly in regions with poor soil quality. The conversation turned into a brainstorming session about possible collaborative projects. "Perhaps we could set up an exchange program. Earth scientists could learn a lot from your techniques," Tom suggested. "An excellent idea," Dr. Halen agreed. "And we could benefit from Earth's genetic diversity." The afternoon passed with productive discussions, and Tom left the lab feeling inspired and hopeful about the future of Earth-Xanthian collaborations. Later that day, Tom met up with Alira, who seemed more herself as the effects of the season began to wane. They decided to take a walk through one of Xanthia's public sky parks, elevated platforms with sprawling gardens and panoramic views of the city. "Joran told me about your day at the lab. It sounds like it was a success," Alira said, as they strolled along a path bordered by exotic flowers. "It was, thanks to Joran's introduction. I'm learning so much here, not just about your technology but also about your way of life," Tom replied. "That's good to hear. I hope you're starting to feel more at home," Alira said, glancing at him with a soft smile. "I am. Everyone's been so welcoming. And I'm not just adapting to Zanthia. I feel like I'm becoming a part of it," Tom confessed, the alien sunset casting warm hues across his face. "I'm glad, Tom. It's not easy being so far from home, but it helps to have friends," Alira replied, her hand brushing against his as they walked. The simple contact sent a warm pulse through Tom, surprising him with its intensity. He looked at Alira, noticing the subtle changes in her expression, a mix of comfort and curiosity. "Alira, Tom started, but she cut him off with a laugh. "Careful, Tom. Xanthian sunsets are known to make people reveal more than they intend," she teased, her eyes twinkling with humor. Tom laughed, the moment of tension passing as they continued their walk, the city lights twinkling below and the stars beginning to peek through the twilight sky. Their conversation flowed from scientific theories to personal dreams, each revelation weaving a stronger bond between them. As they returned to their quarters, Tom felt a deepening of their connection, an intertwining of their lives that went beyond mere cohabitation. Zanthia was no longer just a place of assignment for him. It was becoming a place he could call home, with people he cared about deeply. The Xanthian twilight bathed the shared quarters of Tom and Alira in a mellow light, as the two settled in for an evening of cultural exchange. The air was filled with the rich aromas of a dinner Alira had prepared, a Xanthian specialty that she was eager to share with Tom. As the mating season progresses, our dishes become more intense. Flavor-wise, Alira explained, placing a steaming dish in front of Tom. It's meant to complement the heightened senses. Tom took a cautious bite, and his eyes widened in delight. It's fantastic, Alira. You need to teach me how to cook this. Alira laughed, pleased. I'd love to. Cooking can be another form of communication, you know. Sharing recipes is sharing culture. Dinner passed with light-hearted banter and deeper discussions about their respective worlds. After clearing the table, they moved to the living room, where a collection of Xanthian musical instruments lay in wait. Joran dropped these off earlier. He thought you might like to try the silhar again, now that you've had a basic lesson, Alira said, handing Tom the elegantly curved instrument. Tom strummed it, more confidently this time, producing a soothing melody. I'm getting the hang of it, don't you think? You're a natural, Alira complimented, picking up another instrument, a sort of flute called a viol. Let me join you. The soft, harmonious music they created filled the room, drawing them into a shared experience that was both new and strangely intimate. As the last note faded, Tom looked at Alira with newfound appreciation. This is nice, Alira. I mean, really being able to share something like this, Tom said, his voice tinged with a mix of happiness and a deeper, unspoken emotion. It is, Alira agreed, her gaze lingering on his face with a softness he hadn't seen before. It's rare to find someone so different from yourself, but with whom you can share so much. Encouraged by the warmth in her voice, Tom decided to delve deeper into the feelings that had been growing inside him. Alira, ever since I came here, you've made me feel welcomed and cared for. It's more than just being roommates or friends. Alira set the viol aside, turning to face him fully. Tom, I feel the same. These past weeks with you have been enlightening. I've learned so much from you, about kindness, curiosity, and even courage. The air between them charged with an electric current of mutual recognition. Tom reached out, hesitantly at first, but with growing confidence, and took Alira's hand. The contact was electrifying yet right. Alira, Tom began, but was interrupted by a sudden buzz from his communicator. It was a message from Joran, reminding him of an early meeting the next day. Laughing at the interruption, Tom said, even Joran has perfect timing. Should I take that as a sign? Maybe, Alira replied with a mischievous smile. Or maybe we make our own signs. They agreed, laughing, and decided to spend the rest of the evening watching the stars from their balcony. The Xanthian night sky, a canvas of otherworldly beauty, stretched endlessly above them. As they sat close, their hands still entwined, Tom felt a sense of completeness. The cosmic dance of distant stars mirrored his own feelings, vast, mysterious, yet brightly shining with possibilities. Alira, being here with you, under this sky, it's changed me, Tom confessed, looking over at her, his heart full. And you've changed me, Tom. For the better, Alira responded, squeezing his hand. The night deepened around them, but the connection they forged was like a beacon, guiding them through the uncharted territories of their intertwined lives. As they headed back inside, both knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, their bond a testament to the shared moments that had brought them this far. The sun was just peeking over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the streets of Zanthia as Tom and Alira made their way to a quiet cafe near the university district where Joran worked. Tom was deep in thought, processing the events of the previous night, the feelings he'd shared with Alira, and what they might mean for their future. As they entered the cafe, Joran waved them over, a wide grin on his face. He was seated with another human, whom Tom recognized immediately from the Interstellar Communications Hub, Mike, a cultural liaison officer. Tom, Alira, meet Mike. He's been helping bridge human and Xanthian cultures here. Mike, these are the friends I've been telling you about. Joran introduced them enthusiastically. Mike stood and shook hands warmly with both. It's great to meet you. I've heard quite a bit about your work, Tom and Alira. Your assistance with the Earth Plants project has been invaluable. Thank you, Mike. We're just trying to make the most of our time here, Tom replied, feeling a bit more at ease. The group settled into their seats, ordering the local morning brew which Tom had come to enjoy. Conversation flowed easily, with Mike sharing anecdotes about his own experiences adapting to life on Zanthia. It's all about finding common ground, isn't it? Whether it's through technology, culture, or personal relationships, Mike said, giving Tom a knowing look. Exactly, Tom agreed, glancing at Alira, who smiled back. Alira and I were just discussing how our understanding of each other's worlds has grown. It's fascinating how much there is to learn. The personal connections often teach us more than any formal study could, Mike commented. It's the day-to-day living that really shows you the heart of another culture. Joran nodded in agreement. And sometimes, those connections turn into something deeper. It's all part of the adventure of living away from your home planet. The conversation then turned to the practical aspects of interstellar relationships, both personal and professional. Mike shared insights into the legal and social frameworks that supported such relationships on Zanthia. It's important to have a good support system, Mike explained. Both planets are keen on fostering good relations, so there are structures in place to help with any issues that might arise. Speaking of support, Joran chimed in, Tom, if you ever need to discuss more about the cultural implications of your work or your other interests, Mike is a great resource. Alira gave Tom's hand a subtle squeeze under the table, her gesture conveying support and shared interest in exploring all facets of their developing relationship. As breakfast continued, the group discussed potential collaborative projects that could benefit from both human and Xanthian insights. Mike suggested organizing a joint cultural festival, an idea that was met with enthusiastic approval. That sounds like a fantastic way to showcase both our cultures, Alira said. Tom and I could contribute with a presentation on the Botanical integration project, and maybe some music, Tom added, recalling their evenings filled with Xanthian instruments. It could be a celebration of everything we've shared and learned from each other. Plans began to take shape, and by the time breakfast was over, Tom felt invigorated. Not only was he making a place for himself on Zanthia, but he was also part of something that bridged worlds, something profoundly significant. As they left the cafe, Tom felt a deep gratitude for the friends and allies he had found in this alien world. Walking back through the streets bathed in the warm morning light, he realized how much Zanthia had become his home, a place not just of work, but of heart and new beginnings. The cultural festival was a bustling hub of activity, filled with colors, sounds, and scents from both Earth and Zanthia. Tom and Alira, along with Joran and Mike, were at the center of it all, overseeing the integration of Earth and Xanthian culture in a pavilion dedicated to their collaborative projects. As they put the finishing touches on their exhibit, Tom couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. The display included a hybrid garden, featuring both Earth and Xanthian flora thriving side by side, and a section dedicated to musical fusion, with instruments from both worlds. Look at this crowd, Alira. I didn't expect this kind of turnout, Tom said, gesturing towards the throngs of visitors streaming into their pavilion. Alira laughed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Trapped with my alien roommate during mating season, I didn't expect this. She echoed his words from weeks ago, her tone playful. Who knew it would lead to this? It's been quite the journey, Tom agreed, watching as Joran demonstrated a Xanthian string instrument to an intrigued group of Earthlings. Mike joined them, clapping Tom on the back. You two have really outdone yourselves. This is the highlight of the festival. It's not just a display. It's a symbol of potential, of what we can achieve together. Thanks, Mike. It feels good to contribute something that might last longer than we do, Tom replied, his gaze lingering on the garden. As the day progressed, Tom and Alira took turns explaining the exhibits to visitors, sharing insights into their work and the deeper connections it fostered. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many expressing fascination and eagerness to learn more about the integration of two such diverse biologies. During a quieter moment, Joran pulled Tom aside. You know, this whole thing has been an eye-opener. Seeing our cultures blend so seamlessly in the garden and the music, it's inspiring. It is, Tom agreed. It makes you realize how artificial our boundaries are. We're not that different when it comes down to the basics: growth, harmony, understanding. Exactly, Joran nodded. And speaking of understanding, it seems like you and Alira have found a special one. Tom smiled, his thoughts drifting to Alira. We have. It's more than I could have hoped for when I first arrived. Back at the exhibit, Alira was engaged in a deep conversation with a group of Zanthian scholars about the potential for further Earth-Zanthian collaborations. Her passion and expertise were evident, drawing a crowd that hung on her every word. As the afternoon turned into evening, the festival began to wind down, and the pavilion grew quieter, allowing the team a moment to reflect on the event's success. This was more than just a cultural exchange. It was a personal milestone for all of us, Mike observed, looking around at the team. Yeah, it was, Tom said, feeling a sense of accomplishment and connection. It's funny how things work out. You start with one small step, like living with an alien roommate, and it leads to something big, something meaningful. That's the beauty of life, isn't it? The unexpected turns that bring us to remarkable places, Alira added, joining the group. As they began to pack up, Tom felt a profound sense of gratitude for the experiences and friendships he'd gained on Zanthia. The festival wasn't just a showcase of integration, but a celebration of new beginnings, of possibilities that unfolded when different worlds came together. With the pavilion cleared and the last of the visitors gone, Tom, Alira, Joran, and Mike stood together, looking out over the now empty space. It was quiet, but the echoes of the day's laughter and music still hung in the air. We did something great here today, Tom said quietly. We did, Alira agreed, her hand finding his. Together. And as the Zanthian moons rose in the sky, their light seemed to confirm what Tom already felt in his heart, that this place, these people, were now part of his world, his life. And he wouldn't have it any other way. As the cultural festival's success became the talk of both Earth and Zanthian communities, Tom and Alira found themselves at the forefront of a new initiative aimed at deepening interstellar relations. Their final evening on Zanthia before Tom's scheduled return to Earth was spent at a quiet, reflective gathering at Joran's home. Can you believe how quickly the time has passed? Joran mused as he handed Tom a drink, their seats offering a panoramic view of the Zanthian sunset. It's surreal, Tom admitted, his mind racing through the months of work, discovery, and personal growth. When I first arrived, I couldn't have imagined any of this. And now, it's hard to think about leaving. Alira, sitting beside Tom, leaned closer. You've made a significant impact here, Tom, not just professionally. You've changed how we think about Earth and its people, and you've all changed me, too. More than I can say, Tom replied, feeling a tightness in his chest at the thought of departure. Mike, who had been listening, added, It's the bonds that make these missions so valuable, Tom. The projects are important, but the relationships last a lifetime. As the sky darkened and stars began to emerge, the group's conversation shifted towards the future. Tom, have you thought about extending your stay? There's still so much we can do together, Joran suggested, his tone hopeful. Tom took a moment before responding, his gaze fixed on the night sky. I've been considering it. There's potential here, not just for further projects but for building something lasting. Alira's hand found his under the table, her touch reassuring. I'd like that, she said simply, her voice soft but earnest. And there's plenty of support for it, Mike chimed in. Both our governments are eager to continue what you've started. Your work here could be a model for other joint endeavors. The idea resonated with Tom, aligning with his own desires and the unfinished business he felt tugging at him. I think I need to see this through. There's more to achieve and frankly, I'm not ready to leave. Not yet. Not without. He paused, turning to Alira, who was watching him with a mixture of anticipation and emotion. Not without seeing where this journey with you goes, Tom finished, his decision clear. Alira smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. Then let's make sure this isn't a goodbye but a new beginning. Cheers rose from the group, and Joran brought out a bottle he had been saving for a special occasion. As they toasted to new beginnings and extended missions, Tom felt a profound connection to everyone around the table. Later, as the gathering wound down, Tom and Alira found themselves alone, walking through Joran's garden. The air was cool, filled with the night scents of Xanthian flora. Today felt like a culmination of so many things, Tom said, stopping to face Alira, but also like the start of something new. Something good. It did, Alira agreed. I'm grateful for the time we've had and even more for the time we will have. Us. It's grown into more than I could have imagined. They stood in silence for a moment, simply enjoying each other's company. I guess it's true what they say about unexpected journeys, Tom finally said, pulling Alira close. They really can lead you to remarkable places. Alira nodded, resting her head against his chest. And to think, it all started because I was trapped with my alien roommate during mating season. They both laughed, the sound mingling with the whispers of the Xanthian night. As they walked back to the house, hand in hand, the paths before them seemed less daunting, guided by the shared light of their united path. The future was uncertain, as all futures are, but they faced it together, ready for whatever it might bring. In the unity of their hearts and the fusion of their worlds, they had found a rare and precious harmony.